play of MediEvil 2 for the PS1. And I'm finally getting into actually doing it in parts, and I'm going to try and like just talk through while I'm playing it, like what's going on if you've never like played the game before and you're maybe stuck on certain parts, and I'll just talk about the ways I play it in that and certain strategies I use to help me get through the game, because yeah, like I am like a major fan of the game, as you can probably tell from like my channel name and the fact that I've done quite a lot of videos on it. I mean, I've done a couple of like videos where I showed stuff that I've noticed, and I've done a few long plays of them both now, and now I've started doing them in different languages for any viewers who are not English out there. I've just uploaded a long play of MediEvil 2 in Italian, and oh yes, I'm playing this in American just now. Not in American, what the hell am I? I'm playing the American version of this game just now because I'm playing it on the emulator, and I didn't want to... Oh, it's just hard to explain. But the PAL version of this game, it just does not work very well on the emulator at all, unless I've got my ROM plugged in, and I mean my CD-ROM plugged in, and I have to play it off the keyboard and everything. And it's not so bad if I'm not doing commentary for it, because it's just easier. But I only have 2 USB slots, and I need 2 USB slots for plugging in my CD-ROM player, so... Oh yeah, here's our first cutscene. And this is set 500 years, is it, after MediEvil 1 in Gallowmere, and Dan is resting in a museum in Kensington in London. But we have a new bad guy here, called Lord Palethorn, and his 2 psychics, Mander, yeah, Mander and Dogman, yeah. But, why was he called Mander again? The other one, is it like... Again, he's an Alamander or something, I don't know. But, yeah, this is Kensington London just now. And, yeah, he's our new bad guy who we've got instead of Zarok. And just as much as I prefer Zarok as a villain, at least we get to see more from Palethorn. Like, we see him in more cutscenes and that, whereas in MediEvil 1 you only see Zarok, like, once in Cemetery Hill, and then we don't see him again to the end. Whereas we sort of see Palethorn a bit more frequently throughout the game. Also, I completely came off track there what I was talking about, but yeah, I'm starting to do long plays this game in different languages now. I started off with Italian, and I'm going to play it in like French and German, Spanish and Portuguese as well. And I've already done it in English, but I might redo that as well. Or, not, maybe not. Actually, no, I'm redoing it just now, actually, but just in parts instead, with commentary. And he's using Zarok's spellbook because they got a hold of the pages somehow. From a place that doesn't exist, but it's still an awesome game though to play. But, yeah, this is brought back zombies, and he's even brought this ruins of this dinosaur back to life. But yeah, the reason I'm playing the US version of the game is because none of the levels freeze on this version on the emulator, whereas they do if you're not playing off a disc on the PAL version, and it's just so much easier. It's just hard to explain, to be honest, why I'm playing on this version, but yeah, it's just much more convenient. And okay, here we go, we're just starting a new game now. Yeah, we've still got the same, like, the sort of intro. We've got, like, the skeleton, like, with his hand pointing at new game and low game, like the original. And we start off with our first level, which is in the Kensington Museum. And we're in Kensington a lot in this game, to be honest. Like, we start off our first 2 levels in the museum, and we come back here 2 more times, like, later. And here we go, this is him back to life. Because once again, just as Zarok brought Dan back to life by accident in the previous one, and it looks like Palethorn did the same. Because if they wake the dead, they're obviously going to wake Dan as well, so they both made the same mistake. And here's our little help ghost called Winston, and he's like a take on Winston Churchill from that era, sorry, God, my talking's terrible. But, yeah, he's a funny little character. He's got quite a strong British accent. It's like he's Cockney. But yeah, this game is much more challenging than the first one, to be honest. I mean, like, it's got less levels in it, and it's shorter to play. But well, the levels are like more wide open, and it's, if you've never played it before, I mean, like, I remember when I was younger, oh, the troubles I had with this game, to be honest. It took me forever to figure it out, apart from like using cheats to get past levels and such, and you got them from friends and that. And once YouTube came along, that's what really helped me to actually complete the game, because I used to watch other people's playthroughs to see how it's meant to be done, just stuff like that. But yeah, this is our first level in the game museum, and these are the zombies, and It's a lot more challenging as well, because in the first game you could actually attack enemies while they're attacking you, but in this you can't. If an enemy's attacking you, you just can't do anything, so you have to make sure you're not near an enemy when you're attacking them. But it's best to attack them from behind, because it's easier, and if this camera angle would just sort itself. There we go. That's the zombie done. And for this being a first level in the game, it's probably one of the hardest to me. In fact, you have to go through the whole level without any life balls, and the enemies themselves are pretty tricky. But compared to the first, this one is pretty tricky. I mean, the life vials give you less health in this one. The daring dash can't be used as a weapon. The life fountains actually don't come back once you've used them if you return to level later on. Whereas in MediEvil 1, if you use up a life fountain and return to level later, they were back, but in this game they don't, so you really do have to spare your life.
As well as inventory, you've got 2 weapon slots. Select your weapon, then use the stick or directional buttons to select the slot it should go in. Once both slots are full, L1 plus square switches weapons without going back to your inventory. Should make killing things much more fun.
Yeah, that's also a new feature from the first one. You could only use one weapon at a time in the first one, but now they've added this new feature that you can have 2 weapons out at a time and just do L1 plus square to switch back and forward to them. Actually, hang on, did I get the money behind here? Yeah, I did. Never mind. But, yeah, so we'll just continue to the next room where we get our first shield from the game. Oh.
If you equip the shield from your inventory, triangle becomes defend. You can use it with the daring dash for when things get really hairy. It's got a limited amount of strength, so use it sparingly or it'll be you that gets a battering.
Yeah, Winston appears a lot in this level, but as the game goes on, he turns out not to be that useful at all. He barely gives you, like, any information at all. All he does is sort of, like, give you hints, and you have to figure out the rest for yourself, which is kind of good, I suppose. But this game is really hard to figure out what you have to do, unless you know already. But it took me forever to figure out what I had to do. It's much more puzzling than the first game. I mean, it's almost hair-pullingly difficult. Some levels more than others. I mean, I used to be stuck on the Freak Show level for ages when I was younger, and also the Tomb level from Kensington. Oh, one thing I'll tell you is, if you're ever planning to play this, if you're planning to do your own playthrough of this game on an emulator if you don't have a PS1, do not use any version after 1.7.0 of EPSXE, because any version after 1.7.0 it really messes up the music. Because, like, after every time you enter a room, a soundtrack from a different level plays, or whenever you've talked to Winston, another soundtrack will play. It doesn't just play the actual soundtrack for the level all the way through. I don't know why it does it, but after this version, the emulator completely screws up this game's music. So if you're ever playing this game in emulator, always use version 1.7.0. Just a little pointer. Also, one good thing about the emulator is that actually you can play it in much smoother quality. Like, you can set the picture to be much smoother looking and less pixelated and grainy, as if you were playing off the actual PS1. But my Italian long play was played straight off the PS1 because I wasn't doing it with commentary anyhow, and it's just much easier than having to play it on a keyboard, because I only have 2 USB slots for plugging in my CD-ROM player, so I find it easier to play it off my joystick or gamepad. Oh, these guys are really, they are irritatingly annoying for a first level, but they only appear in this one anyhow. But oh my god, they are so difficult for first level. They ain't. This is a really tricky first level, and the fact that they just expect you to cope with 1 life bar throughout this whole level, that's like really ridiculous. But oh, I'm cornered now. I was just waiting for one to not see me. There we go. Got the upper hand here now. There we go. I'll just try and get the other one from behind now. See, that's the thing in this game, because the fact that you can't attack while you're being attacked, it just makes it harder to actually just run up to them and hit them. You have to be careful about it. Like, you're best taking them from behind like this, where you can't see, and then just do it like that. See, he didn't get me at all there. And also, there's a lot of places, like, money in this game is much more scarce as well. Like, so you pretty much have to know all the hidden areas the money is at as well, like this bit here. And one other thing is, there's this room that I'm just about to jump into, and the garden area. You have to go into this room first to get the level done a bit quicker, because if you do the next room first, it actually has a chalice in it, and you won't have 100% of the chalice by that point. So you're best doing that room last, because once you get 100% of the chalice, you'll be in the same room as it, just to collect it straight after you've gotten 100%. So it just makes it much easier. Like, hold on. I'll just kill this guy first. There we go, I'm dead now. Oh gosh, I'm barely able to keep track of what I'm saying, to be honest. I think Winston's upstairs, actually. I forgot to speak to him in my Italian Longplay, and I was trying to talk to Winston at all the points I possibly could, but I think I forgot to speak to him up here. Oh, for God's sake, come back here. That's another thing, the enemies tend to run away from me half the time, so they're not very good enemies. But they're annoying as hell, to be honest. This game really is based on luck, though. That's it.
He'll provide you with nearly everything you'll ever need at a hefty price. Press action to select him.
Well do, Winston. Although we don't have to go to him an awful lot, to be honest. I find whenever I play this game, I don't go to him very often. I mean, I've been to him like once or twice to top up a pistol. I mainly go to him to top up my broadsword or my shield or something, but I don't use very many shooting weapons in this game when I'm playing, so I don't really have to go to him often, apart from topping up my shield, and that's about it. But yeah, we go to him to top up our ammunition. And like I said, after we're in the display room, yeah, you're meant to go, well, you're not meant to go in here first, but I just find it easier to go into the display room, then the garden, because that way you'll be in the same room as the chalice once you have 100%, and it means you just get it done quicker. Sometimes it's good when you hold down square and you're near the zombie the whole time, because you can hit him 2 times in a row, and it just kills them quicker as well. So if you hit them like 2 times in a row, and then you just take one more hit, and that's it.
It fills with the souls of the vanquished. Dispatch enough enemies to collect it.
And that's another thing that they took from the first game as well. Like, the objective was to kill enemies in order to be able to collect the chalice, and once you've collected enough of their souls, the chalice will become collectible. But instead of the Hall of Heroes, yeah, we don't go to the Hall of Heroes in this one to gain our weapons. Instead, we have this professor who he must use magic or something to form our chalice into some sort of weapon. I'm not sure how that works, but every time we collect our chalice, the professor gives us a new weapon. I don't know. Does he just give us it as a reward for collecting the chalice, or does he just turn the chalice into a weapon? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know how that works, but it's still awesome. I still really like this game. I mean, I actually personally prefer this one to the first, because they did make slight improvements to it, like graphics-wise, gameplay-wise, made it more challenging and such, but yeah, oh yeah, there's our cannonball. Yeah, we need that to break down this rubble that's here. Oh, and that's what the cone we collected is for as well. Right here. Yeah, we'll light this cone. And then, yeah, square to light the cone. Or you could use X as well, but I use square to just do it like that. And it's square to poke, and no, X to poke, and square to go like that. I forgot to say, the controls in this game are a bit different to what you'd probably be used to at this time. Like, most games required X to jump, whereas in this game it's circle to jump. Like, say, like circle to jump, and it's X to like do a little small attack. And if you hold down square and charge up your weapon and let go, you do like a super attack. And triangle is to like shield and duck at the same time, but you can also shield while running. And also, if you run and keep pressing triangle, he does like a daring dash, which makes him run a bit faster. I'm trying to talk as clearly as I can, but I'm such a fast talker, so I just hope you can keep on top of what I'm saying. Sorry. Ah! Fuck those guys. Oh look, and there's Zarok, our antagonist from the previous game. He's hanging on the wall there. I have no idea how they managed to get hold of him. I mean, Gallowmere is not a real place, so... Or is it? Maybe in the year the 1300s, London used to be called Gallowmere, and it just got renamed London at some point. Despite assuming many monstrous forms, the evil sorcerer Zarok was reputedly a coward. Legend has it that the great... Oh, yep. That's telling us the story of the previous MediEvil. I really like the first MediEvil game, actually, but... And it's actually longer and there's more levels in it, but this one does have improvements made to it, such as, yeah, like I said, graphics, the levels are more challenging, and it's got a slight more comedic twist, and they added a bit more to it. Like, there's more to it, really, but it's hard to explain what I'm meaning, but I have a terrible way of explaining things, sorry. But yeah, this is us almost on our first level, so, Oh yeah, but then I'll be doing the Tyrannosaurus Rex for you in the next level. He's not a very hard boss, to be honest, for a first boss. Although the bosses in this game are a bit more challenging than in the first. The bosses were like really easy in the first game. That's in bed. And I feel like, yeah, I think I might actually do Kensington and then end the part there, and then I'll do the first part Kensington in this video, and I'll play the second part in the next video as well as the freak show maybe. There we go, that's level 1 done. And also, this is a new thing, like, we get levels within a level in this one, unlike in the first one. Like, every level was separate, but in this one, like, if I collect a chalice in the first part of the level, I have to make sure I get it before accessing the second half of the level, because I can't return to get it later on. So, even though I've gotten the chalice, I won't be able to actually retrieve my weapon until I've completed all the parts to this level. So, I'll complete the museum by completing the Tyrannosaurus Rex, then I'll be able to get my new weapon.
If you meet that monster, don't be too scared. Look for his weak point. Don't let things get on top of you. Get on top of them. Afterwards, I'll take you to meet me boss.
His boss is the professor that we'll be getting to see very soon. He's quite a funny little geeky guy. He's so cute though. Here we go, here's our first boss in the game, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And one thing that's not so much like the first game is that the bosses tend to have different phases in this one. Once you think you've defeated them, there's a bit more left to do. I mean, like, once you defeated the Tyrannosaurus Rex here, he turns into a pterodactyl. And then we have to defeat him as a pterodactyl, and then he's gone. He's taking forever to come together. Come together right now. Sorry. Okay, so I think when I was younger, I used to always like run around the top area here when I defeat the Tyrannosaurus Rex, but you can always just get him from down here. Just keep running in front of him, because that way he'll stop spinning and he'll just charge into the wall, and this way it gets it done quicker. Like this, keep running in front of him instead of running around in circles. There we go, now we can hit him already. I really hope more people from this generation actually find out about this game, because it means a lot to me from my childhood, and it just, oh god, it's such a fun game, and I feel like it's too forgotten by people nowadays, and it's a real shame because it was really well made and it's lots of fun to play. So, I mean, I know games nowadays are pretty good as well, but I just mean, like, I just don't like all these old classics to be forgotten, because these were pretty awesome too. So I know I've always loved MediEvil, to be honest. It's always been my favourite game franchise, and I also really like Spyro too, like particularly Year of the Dragon, because I also grew up with that one, particularly the demo, and also games like A Bug's Life and all those other sort of PS1 games, and some PS2 actually. I associate a lot with my childhood, but I know I've got no life. So I keep spinning around in circles here. I don't know how it ended up coming up here, but yeah, I did say I would stay on ground level, but I know I just hurt myself there, but you can still jump on him before his brain shows, but you end up getting hurt, so don't try doing what I did there. I was just cutting corners. Yes, we need to use a projectile weapon for the pterodactyl because she flies, so we can't hit him from ground level with a sword, so we need to shoot at her, or him. I don't know what sex it is. The music from this game is phenomenal though, but it's a real shame because it is actually copyright protected by a company called Duff Note, but it's a shame because the actual original composers of this music doesn't mind their music being used. It's the actual copyright holder that doesn't like it, but because I even asked Bob and Barn for their permission for me to use it, and they said that they were fine, but they said it's not entirely up to them, so that's a real shame. But I'm talking over it right now with commentary, it's fine, so I'll just have it playing quietly in the background, so that should be okay. But I don't know. I thought I had my music playing quietly in the background in my Italian long play, but it still got recognised, so I thought, I'll just pitch it a little in, because I am using it fairly, so there we go. So we have to do this twice, like after you've defeated him like halfway, we have to keep running around until his weak point shows again, and then finish him off. And after playing 2 really hard levels with like no life balls, we finally get our first one. Thank God. But in MediEvil 1, we already have like our 4th life ball by like level 5, but then they become a lot more scarce. There's only 9 life balls in total in MediEvil 1, whereas there's actually 11 in this one. But there's not so many of them at the start of the game as there is later on. But there's our first one. And they actually appear darker than they do in the original. They're much more brighter colour than in the original one. They are a much brighter colour. One good thing is, when you're topping up your health in this one, it tops up much quicker. In the original, you didn't. By the original, I mean like, you know, the prequel. Well, predecessor. Okay, I'm not good with these sort of words. The only sort of shooting weapons you got were like crossbows and longbows now. Whereas in this one, it's like more modernised, and you have like your pistols and your Gatling guns and all that sort of good shit. So here we are in Professor's lab. This is where we get our weapon in this one. And these, remember, these little chalice pads from the first game, where we got our weapon from the Hall of Heroes. And then, yeah, in this one we get the chalice here from the Professor. Well, we don't get the chalice, we get the weapon for the chalice here. Oh, okay, I'll shut up so you can hear him.
I see you managed to find him after all. Fortesque, pleased to meet you. I should imagine that you are a little nonplussed as to what exactly is going on, eh? Well, allow me to introduce myself. Professor Hamilton Kift, magician, inventor, and master of the occult at your service. If you're wondering what you're doing once again...
He's such a cute little character.
It appears that someone has got their hands on the legendary Zarok spellbook. Zarok. Ow. Ow. Well, people like myself have been searching for that book for centuries. The power within its pages, oh. Well, last year certain pieces of the book turned up, and this is the result. Total chaos. First, we have to find the extent of the damage, don't we? I myself am imprisoned in this god-awful pit without any power. Top priority is to get this place into suitable shape to start waging a little guerrilla war. Has Winston told you about collecting magic? He had. Oh, good, good.
No, he didn't. He's a liar.
Select where you want to go on the projector over here. Also, if you collect the chalice, I should be able to reward you with a new weapon. You can collect this off me here.
He just tells us briefly how to play the game. He told me nothing of the sort about magic. Well, maybe a bit. He wasn't very particular. There we go, this is our first weapon in the game, and it may just look like an ordinary little stick, but it's actually a very useful weapon, especially for the next level and a level later on called Greenwich Observatory. Because one useful thing about this weapon is it is actually particularly strong when you poke, but you can also hit many enemies at a time with this attack here. Look at all those little beams that just fly out right there. And here we go, this is our next level, and I love how, with this game being set in London, that they actually include real places as levels in this game.
I can work out. This is the epicenter of the blast. Look around, Fortesque. Connect as much magic as possible, and see if you can work out who's behind this terrible state of affairs.
I'm on it, Professor. Right, so we'll save the game here. I'll play this first part here, and then I'll stop the part here, and then I'll play Kensington and the Freak Show next time. What was I going to say just there? I completely forgot. Yeah, I've been watching... Oh, if you haven't heard of Tekken 101, I've been watching his replaythroughs of MediEvil 2 actually recently, and I used to watch his old ones that he used to play on TV as well, and yeah, he's a pretty funny guy as well, and he does pretty awesome commentaries, and he's replaying this game too, and just after seeing his playthroughs with commentary and such, it's just sort of inspired me to do mine in parts, whereas, yeah, for a change, because I'm always doing mine in, like, long plays and that, so I'd rather just do it in, like, parts at times, and talk through the game with you, just to give you little guides on how I play it. Now, I play this very weird to how other people probably play it, but I found a way of, like, defeating this posh man. I always call him the posh man, yeah. I've always called him that when I was younger, but yeah, you don't actually have to kill the zombies first. You could just lure him away from the other zombies and then kill him that way. But what that means is you have to kill literally every enemy in the level to get the chalice. But I don't mind that. I love killing enemies in this. It's so fulfilling killing the zombies. Oh, the camera angle's terrible. That is one thing about this game. It actually did generally get a good review on by critics. But one thing, like most PS1 games, there was problems with the camera angle. So And the frame rate actually is not too bad in this game, like, on a whole, but I noticed in levels like this, and what other level? I'm not sure, but I definitely noticed in levels like this, when there's like lots of enemies in the vicinity, there's a bit of lag, but it's generally not too bad. Right, in this level there's, yeah, different zombies. You have to, wait, what you're meant to do is you're meant to defeat the zombies, and then once you've defeated the zombies, this posh man will turn solid, and then you have to defeat him before he brings them back to life. But what I do is I just sort of lure him away from the zombies and then kill him then. But then you don't actually get percentage of chalice for defeating them. But what the hey. It's nice to have a unique way of playing it. But then once we've defeated them, we also have the zombies that were from the museum in this level. And I find them so, actually, as much as I really like the first game, I find the zombies much more fulfilling to kill in this one. With just the noises you make when you kill them, just seeing all their limbs flying off when you're killing them as well. I know, I'm very messed up in the head, but also, it's a very pretty level, actually. I think the levels are quite pretty in this game, and the textures and how they look and everything are just brilliant. I mean, again, I know I sound like I'm criticising the first one. It's not that at all. I really love the first game, but this game definitely has some things that they've improved over the first one. There's that posh man turned solid now, and he's a ghost for some reason again. Ugh. Hit him so good. I don't think my Italian Longplay is quite finished processing yet, but I think it might be done actually after I've played this, hopefully anyway. And why did I go back through there? I don't need to go through there again. Yes, I need to go this way. And I'll just kill them for the hell of it, even though I don't get a percentage chance for defeating them now. I thought it was pretty awesome. I was just messing about in the game when I figured out that you could actually kill the posh man without killing the zombies. I'm not sure if that's a glitch that they never sorted out, or did they know that would happen but they didn't think people would think to do that. Either way, it's a cool little Easter egg.
Certain objects can be pushed or pulled. Stand close and take action to lock on. Use the directional buttons to move it about.
Okay, this is just me with my immature, dirty mind, but every time when I was younger, I used to always laugh at that thing, that piece of information that Winston gave us, because there's so many innuendos in it, it's unreal. I mean, like press action to lock on, objects could be pushed or pulled, and move it about. I mean, it just all sounds so rude, but that's just me being dirty. So now we're back to our zombies from the first level. And there's a bit more of them in this level. There's only like, how many are there? Yeah, there's only 7. And no, how many was there? Yeah, there's 8 in this. There was 8 in the museum level, but there's more in this one. And it's a shame because my favourite level in this game is very far on in it, and it's such a short one too. And actually, it's not a shame. It's just more like, after you play that level, you get such a sad one like the sewers, and it's like saying, "Oh, my favourite level in the game has come to an end." I don't know. I do really like this game. It's just having a sad level straight after my favourite one. So, yeah, we'll still need the townhouse key, but there's some zombies down here too. Yeah, there is, yeah. I think with me doing this with comedy, I'm probably dawdling a lot as well, but yeah, it's good when you get like 2 combos like that, because it means you get them killed faster. It's much better to like hold down square and try and attack them from the back and follow them while you're hitting them, because that means you can hit them twice in a row and hit them one more time and that's them dead. Also, I think the chalice in this level is pretty well hidden too. It's not actually sitting anywhere in particular in this level. It actually, you have to call for the chalice, if that makes sense, but I'll talk to you a bit more about that later. Well, do I need more health? I'll top up a bit. Yeah, I need a tiny bit. Okay, so now I think we got the key from the other place we were just at, so yeah. We're going here now. Whoa, more zombies. Let's get them out of the way quickly. Yeah, I love me some MediEvil. I'm like playing it all the time. Like, you've probably seen like my playthroughs of me, like I've done it in Japanese. I played MediEvil 1 in Japanese. Oh my god, that was so awesome. They made so many differences in that game. Like down where the helmet and everything, the loading screens are different. It changed quite a bit about that one actually, but it's pretty awesome seeing the changes they made. And I've just played MediEvil 1 in English. I'm hoping to redo it in English with some commentary, but I'm also going to play that one in Italian and German because I've gotten a hold of those copies. But yeah, I'm definitely doing MediEvil 2 in German, French, Spanish and Portuguese because I own both of the PAL versions now because I managed to buy the Italian version online, which also has the languages Portuguese and Spanish on it, so I'll play those for you. For any of these out there who are speaking that language, or just any of you English people out there who are just curious about watching a longplay. But oh, more to the point, these used to be a real pain in the arse when I was younger, those little mummies, and why did I jump down there? Yeah, that's one little hint that I've just done here, like, as soon as they are freed, you're best at defeating them from a higher angle like this, because when you're down there, they're just going to attack you all the time, and like I said, when you're being attacked in this game, you can't attack at the same time as being attacked, so that's a real pain, so you'll end up losing lots of health. So yeah, you just, once they're out of their coffins, you jump back onto these boxes, and then you just attack them from there. So, yeah. Whoops. Silly Dan. So just pull this box over here, and yeah, you hold down X to hold the boxes, like Winston said. And you pull them and push them. In MediEvil 1, you didn't have to press a button to actually push objects, you just walked into them and you automatically started pushing. So, and I think there's more zombies here. Yeah, there are. There we go. And there we go. But yep, thank God we've got one of those exploding boxes in this one. That is so pretty. Whenever you like press select in this game, everything freezes, unlike in the first one, like everything stays completely still. So whenever you actually press select when one of those boxes are exploding and you just see like the enemies flying everywhere, it looks so awesome. I actually set that as my desktop background one time because I just thought it looked so beautiful. I think the last time I actually did playthroughs in parts was like 4 years ago. This is my first time actually ever doing a playthrough that's not a long play in like ages. And I was hopeless with like learning about emulators back then. My frame rate was like so low. I didn't know anything about frame rates and specs for the PC and all that. I knew nothing about that back then. And that was back in like 2011 when I first like discovered you could play PS1 games on an emulator. And I was hopeless at it. I mean, my recordings were such a low frame rate. I could actually, because the frame rate was so low, I could not actually tell where I was at certain points, and it was just awful. You should check out my first ever video like on this channel. I had an old one called MediEvil Fan 146, but that one got terminated because I uploaded TV shows to it. But I didn't know about copyright back then. But that's another thing I never knew was a law. But yeah, oh my god. But yeah, if you check out my first long play of MediEvil on this channel, you'll see what I mean. The frame rate is like so low and everything, but yeah, hopefully I've improved a bit since then. And oh my god, you stupid zombie. See, I mean, you have to attack them from behind, otherwise they just keep attacking you and then you can't hurt them. See, now the chalice can be collected, thank god. Oh yeah, now we've got the key, so we can go in this house. I don't know whose house it is, but it might be Palethorn's, but all we know is we see Palethorn in the opening cutscene casting a spell in this house, but we don't actually know whose house it is.
Look around for clues and then head over to the museum. Something seems to be going on over there.
One thing that's more awesome about like the US version, well NTSC versions of these games is the characters run much faster, so it's pretty awesome because they run I think the frame rate makes them run slower in the PAL versions of the games. Because I think the US versions of the game run in 60 frames per second, whereas the PAL versions only run in 30. But anyhow, it still looks good. It just runs slower in the PAL versions. Now, like I said earlier on, you have to sort of call for the chalice. So pretty much you have to climb up this ladder, and I'll just get this shield while I'm at it. And there's a spiv up here too, actually. Do I need to top up my pistol or anything, do I? Oh no, I've got enough pistol. And like, there's a little bell here. So when you ring this bell, the train comes along, and your chalice is in the back of this train. And another little thing that they thought out pretty well is that if you don't actually have enough souls, and you don't have 100% of the chalice, the train won't stop, it just keeps on driving past. So, they thought that out pretty well, to be honest. Oh, what do these posters say? Hair tonic. Huh, awesome. The inventory this century. Oh, the invention this century. Ha! For only 1 penny. Heh. That's pretty awesome, that. What's that called again? Is it I actually can't remember what they're called, to be honest. Penny farthings, is that what they're called? I don't know. If anyone could tell me down below what those things are called again, that'd be awesome, because I'm pretty sure they're called penny farthings, but I actually can't remember. God. Go.
Once through this door, there's no going back, then. So you probably want to make sure that you got the chatties.
You tell us this now, but why didn't you give us this information at the end of the museum in the first level? Because it's a similar situation in that level too. After you go through the museum doors into the Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can't go back to get the chalice after that point. So why are you only telling us this now?
Master will be pleased with booty. Yes, it's a pity we cannot yet.
What was I going to say there? Yeah, he says that at the end of every level, that there's a second part too. So, like, just to remind you to get the chalice if you forgot it. But for some reason he doesn't say it in the first level. And that's the end of the first part of Kensington. Okay, so I'll end this part here, and next time I'll meet you back in Kensington the Tomb. So hold on, I'll just save here, and then I'll meet you all again.
Alright, Dan, you've come a long way. I'd save if I was you.
Oh, that rings right through my head the whole time I'm playing it, because he says it so many times, and he doesn't have a new phrase for every time he says it. Although the audio files have 3 different files of what he says when he's asking you to save, but for some reason they only kept the one. And that's the game saved. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to get the next part up soon. And I'm also hoping to get more long plays of this game done in foreign. And I hope you're not sick of me uploading MediEvil all the time, but I just love the game so much, and I just love expressing it in different ways, just like having different excuses to replay the game all the time. But yeah, I'll not continue to level any further just now. I'll just see you guys all next time. Just be sure to check out my other long plays, other videos I've done of MediEvil. And you can like me on Facebook if you want. I've got a Facebook page. I have a YTP channel, if you know what those are. You can subscribe to that. I'll put the link down below. Called Steven's YTPs. I do YouTube pips on that channel, if you know what those are, yeah. And also, if you'd like, you can support me on Patreon to help me out, like, with money issues and that, like, affording better equipment for videos, and just to help me out with general everyday stuff. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.